Hi guys, Toni here from Toni Reviews. This week we're going to take a look at installing the solar panel on the roof of our van. This video has been a long time coming. I've actually had the panel installed on the roof since about February, but the cabling was done separately and hence why the video has only just been put together, so the delay in this video, it should have actually been one of the earlier ones, but it is episode 10 and I'm going to show you how I installed the panel on the roof of the van using a no bolt method, so simply using adhesive only. Now what you'll find is with this you can buy kits out there with the acrylic plastic feet, and obviously using just adhesive with no drilling, no bolts. So if you've got a van and you're considering using a no bolt purely adhesive method and wondering is it strong enough and how would you do it, what obstacles might you face? So if those are questions that you're asking yourself, you'll definitely want to check out this week's video. So without further ado, let's just roll the B-roll. Right, here we go. So, solar panel day. I'm going to fit the panel to the roof, but I'm going to fit the panel to the roof today, but I'm not going to install it completely in terms of the electrics. It's just about getting the panel installed and on the roof so that I can get the cabling through, so that then I can carry on with things like the walls and whatever else. Anyway, this is the first time I've ever done anything like this, so this is going to be new. Which I'm sure most people that do this, you know, they've never done it before. But yeah, I've got a 120 watt panel. I did it through a company called Sunstore Solar, and what was good about using them was they can provide you with a complete kit. So got in touch with them, told them what things I'd be running. So I basically said I've got a 12 volt compressor fridge. I'm likely to be going away in it for about maybe 1 to 2 weeks at a time. I've got various USB sockets, I've got about 20 LED lights, and I will also be requiring an inverter to run a laptop. So they did the calculations and they said you should be fine with a 120 watt solar panel. So that's what I've gone with. So I think the complete kit cost me about 350 quid. Just for the solar kit, with all the connectors, with the mounting bolts, with the cabling. I've got some extra cabling actually, and the MPPT charger, which is the Victron one, which is the one that you can connect to your phone via the app, so you can actually monitor the effectiveness of the solar panel and the sort of battery levels on the app. Anyway, so it's install day for the solar panel, so let's get on to it. Right, what's good is with this kit is you literally get everything you need. So in there is a little drill bit, there's the screws, and then you attach all of this, you know, to the frame. So as you can see, this is the 120 watt panel. It's quite nice and sort of little. I suppose in time, if I wanted to upgrade it, I could link it up to another panel and have them both running. But yeah, this is going to do me for now. So yeah, this is a 120 watt mono crystalline solar panel, and that's the company I use, Sunstore. But that's the size, it's 120 by 670. So yeah, it's quite a nice little short panel. So I'm envisaging I'm going to fit this widthways across the van. So yeah, just going to get on to drilling out the holes and screwing this on. So what I'm doing here is drilling through the plastic feet into the metal frame of the solar panel so that I can put the screw fixings in. Now, one thing you've got to sort of be aware of here is obviously the feet are quite thick, they're quite substantial. So what you see me doing is retracting the drill bit and getting rid of the excess tear out from the plastic so that I can get a nice clean sort of follow through into the metal frame. Because obviously they are quite substantial, they are quite thick, you just make sure your drill bit's nice and sharp. Don't go pushing too hard, because the last thing you want to do is sort of poke through the foot and dent the inner frame of the solar panel. So just take your time. The other thing to mention is with the frame itself, the aluminium frame of the solar panel, they're double skinned. So once you've got through the feet, you're gonna make contact with the outer frame of the solar panel. But once you get through that first layer, there will be a second layer. So just be aware it's like a 3-stage process. You'll go through the feet, then obviously hit the aluminium frame, and then you've got a second layer of the aluminium frame before you can actually put the screw in. So I'm just going to give the roof a quick wash, make sure it's nice and clean, and then prepare the area with panel wipe as well, because I'm going to be using Soudaflex bonding agent to secure the feet to the roof. So this is the first time that we've put the actual solar panel onto the roof, and we've moved it around in various positions, and it doesn't fit, no matter where we put it, it doesn't fit flat, because the roof of the transit van is arced. On some of the other vans like the Citroen Relays and things like that, you've got a flat roof, but you've got sort of gullies that go up and down, whereas the transit way of expelling water, I think, is to have an arc, so the water naturally just runs off. Obviously that then faces a problem when you're fitting something with a flat foot like a solar panel. So as you can sort of see on all these different angles, you know, the feet don't sit flat. And I'll show you how I tackled this problem further on and explain exactly how I got around the problem of the arc and securing these feet to the van. So I'm just marking out the area on the roof where the panel's actually going to sit. So this is, once I remove the panel, I know exactly where the feet are going to be placed, and that means I can pay extra special attention to make sure that it's panel wiped and clean in that area. And then I also pee it with a light sandpaper, and also use the Sikaflex primer, the Sikaflex 210 primer, before I actually use the Soudaflex to cement the feet onto the roof. So here you see the original metal of the van that I cut out of the roof to install the skylight. And what I'm going to do is use this material to make shims to pack out the area. So these are the cut down strips of packing material that we're going to use to pack out the gaps in the between the feet and the roof. I'm going to Sikaflex those in. So they've been cut, rubbed down, so they've been keyed, and rubbed down with thinners, so everything's been prepared with thinners. Then the Sikaflex primer has been added, the same as what I did for the skylight. Then it will be Sikaflexed, and in these areas you'll probably put 1 to 2 pieces of metal to pack it out on top, but the whole thing will be contained within the Sikaflex. It's just to give it that extra height and a little bit of extra strength within it. It should be fine. It's only a small panel as well. I think Sikaflex is an extremely strong product, but yeah, it's just to give it that extra strength, just to pack it out, so you're not relying completely on the Sikaflex. But we'll see how that goes. So this is the solar panel installed. It only took 1 shim per foot, so I didn't need as many. I thought it may take 2 to buffer it out, but 1 was sufficient enough. By the time you put a layer of Sikaflex on the bottom, or Soudaflex is what I actually used, then place the shim and then cover that in sealant as well, that was sufficient enough to give the foot a good enough substantial sealant and footing to hold onto the van. So cable goes up here to the gland on the up of the roof. The way I measured about where it was going to come from is there is a seam here between the 2 panels in the van, and that seam runs the whole way with obviously the rafter that runs here as well, sort of in the middle of the van. So I measured from this seam across to where I could feel up here there's sort of double lined, and then there's a bit where it's not double lined. So just sort of measured about here, measured straight down, and oh god, that was tight. That was 23 centimetres across. So we'll go to the outside of the van and I'll show you up top. So this was the job that I done yesterday. It was absolutely hammering it down by the time I finished, so covered it up with some plastic to stop the silicone getting wet. Same with the cable, just tied up the end, it's not connected. I will cable tie that so that when I'm driving it's not flapping around. But basically what I've done, if you're looking at the inside, is measure the 23 centimetres, which was about there where the cable's sitting, and then drill the hole straight through, which was enabled me to get right to that point so that I can bring it down the channel and down. So yeah, I pre-primered that with the Soudaflex primer. I think it's Soudaflex 210. So sanded the underneath of this gland, primed it, sanded and cleaned the panel before obviously running the wire and then putting the gland down. This is just sitting there to protect the gland from moving, because obviously it rained and hammered it down, and obviously it's on a roof, it's windy, it could have slipped or whatever else. So yeah, it's just going to be sitting there like that. It's not too bad a job, few little bits there, but that's where the bag was sort of on it. But it, you know, in terms of water, the water's not going to sit there. It's going to sitting on this edge as well. It's not sitting in a channel where water can pool if it's sitting on a flat roof. Being here, one, that arc allows the wind to hit that, and you know, the cable's behind. So, but the other thing is the water can run off the roof. So yeah, all that's left to do now is connect the cable, but that will be done after the cabinets. So these are cable tidies that I've Soudaflexed to the roof with a cable tie and run them in strategic places to stop the cable banging about on the roof. Also put them up on top of a ridge rather than in a ridge, because any water that collects, it won't be sitting in the water, it'll be sitting on a high spot rather than a low spot. But yeah, it's not yet connected, just wrapped up, but that will be an electric video part 2. So I hope you found this week's video useful, insightful, helpful in some way. I know that when I came to install the panel on the roof, one thing I hadn't considered was the arc of the van. And I know that when I was doing the ceiling on the inside, one thing that I wanted to maintain, that I was going on about in my videos, was the fact that I wanted to maintain that shape. But it didn't actually occur to me that when I come to fit the solar panel on the roof, that I'm going to have the same arc. I just naturally thought of the roof of the van as being sort of flat, or having flatter areas that it could sit on. But I didn't account for the amount of the arc of the roof that would cause a problem with the foot itself. So hopefully this has given you a little bit of an insight to think about the profile of your particular roof with whatever van you've got, and to maybe go up and have a little look before you get to the point that I got to, which was the installation point, and think, oh, now what am I going to do? So that maybe hopefully give you a little bit of foresight in that. The reason that I went down the route of using the adhesive and the feet was for 3 main reasons. And the first one was I didn't want to have to drill any unnecessary holes in the roof. You know, the least amount of holes that I have to drill in the roof, the better for me, because the more holes that you drill, ultimately, the greater the chance of a potential leak in the future. So that was one main reason for me. The second one was the weight. Now, as we all know, weight can quickly mount up in a camper build with all the materials that we're using and all the appliances that we're putting in there. And the additional weight of something like a uni-strut system, a steel framed system, is going to add additional weight to the roof of the van. So that was another reason why I didn't want to go down that route. So the third and final reason is the cost. Now my kit came with those feet, but if you was to purchase the feet separately, I think you can get them anywhere in the region between like 25 and 28 quid for a set of 4 feet. Whereas if I was to use something like the uni-strut system, I'm looking from anything between 80 to about £120. So as we all know, with a van build, costs can quickly creep up. So keeping costs at a minimum is essential, and that's another positive reason of why I went down the route of using the feet. If one of your concerns, like mine was, is it going to be strong enough? There's loads of research that you can do out there, loads of information out there on the adhesives, and it will show you all of the strength tests and what it can hold and how flexible it is, and you can do that sort of research and have a look. But from my personal experience, I've installed that panel on the roof. It's been on there since February. It's been in all weather conditions in the UK so far. We've had extreme cold snaps and frosts, torrential rain and downpours, high winds, motorway speeds as well on top of that, and we've had some lovely sunshine. It's been on the roof for about 4 months now, and it's still exactly the same as the day that I installed it. You know, it hasn't moved, hasn't shown any signs of wear and tear. It's still there and feeling and looking great. I know it's only been 4 months, but from my opinion, that's where we're at this particular stage, and it's all looking good. So on a little side note, I just want to say, don't forget to check out Let Us Live. If you haven't yet checked out the Let Us Live website, you're going to absolutely love it. It's full of merchandise aimed specifically at motorcycle and adventure lovers. If you're into any of those things, don't forget, check out the website, and at checkout, put Toni Reviews and you get a small discount there. One thing that I always forget to mention on these videos is please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to grow the channel. The numbers are going up slowly but surely. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Videos are posted nearly every week. I'm trying to do them weekly. Obviously the van build's taken up a lot of my time, but what I'm hoping to do when the van build's out the way is maybe take you on some adventures as well. I've got some motorbike ones coming up. If you're into your motorcycles, I know that this is a van build, so depending on what you're into, there should be something on the channel for everybody. But please like, subscribe and share. And all that's left for me to say now is safe riding, safe driving, happy adventures, and I'll see you in the next one.